What's good, B-Sounds? It's your boy, Kit Kinraid. I've been decorating. This place gotta glow up. So I thought today I'd just walk you around the gym, show you what I've done, show you what I've got, show you what's going, and we'll just talk it all through. So let's get after it. So I think it's fair to say that this is the heart of the gym. It is a old Mirafit power rack when they didn't do anything else. Like, they didn't even badge it. This is like a stuck-on thing. This all came from China, and then this envelope came saying Mirafit. And that's how you know it's good. It's basically the equivalent of the M100 now, and I paid at the time, I want to say 130 quid, so pretty pleased with that. I bought it without the pulley because I wanted to be able to do pull-ups at home on something stable. This turned up at a price that I couldn't say no to. Then I acquired the dip arms. I think they were 30-something pounds. I actually think they were gifted to me. 2 or 3 years ago, I picked up this cable attachment for it. It was like a damaged box. Again, I think it was like 30, 40 quid or something, outrageously cheap. The plate storage didn't come with it. I bought those and they came with another set of J-cups. They're about as boggo as J-cups get. I do want to get some roller J-cups for it, but I can't find any that fit the spacing and the gauge. Ooh, these Bosch arms we use for pin bench, and they are from a strength shop yoke station, which I have out in the garage. They came on it, they fit this. I'm not going to use them on the yoke, so here they are. Down there, I got the Senshi Japan Landmine attachment, which is really super useful because it accepts both 1-inch and Olympic barbells. At the moment, as you can see, all these plates are 1-inch, but in the next phase of doing this place up, we're gonna swap over to Olympic plates. I've got a ton of them, it's just that I tend to use them when I'm group training outside, and I don't wanna keep bringing stuff backwards and forwards. But I am accumulating a set of colored bumpers, and I'm nearly at the point where I've got enough that I can swap it over, so very exciting. This is a physique bench I got off Facebook Marketplace for £20, and I love it except for one thing. I mean, I love it because it was 20 quid and it's like 400 quid's worth of bench. But this section here, the seat base, isn't level. It's slightly tilted up. So it's designed to be used more like this than a flat bench. And that annoys the living piss out of me because, why? Anyway, it's not too bad. It is infinitely better than the bench I had before. It is much more stable. The one I had before was one of those cheap ones where you sort of pull a pin out and then move the leg and then put the pin back in. It was getting a bit dangerous. I'm not saying dangerous. We were all getting a bit too strong for it, all right? So we needed something a bit more stable. I'm on the lookout for something as good as this, but with that 5 degrees, or I might just grind it off and re-weld it in the right place. Who knows, maybe at some point there'll be a redoing this thing up video because, as you can see, the headpiece is mostly gaffer tape. But it don't bother me! Got 4 25-kilogram plates, 8 10-kilogram plates, and some more on this tree over here, so let's move on. Got this weight storage tree. I've had it forever. It came with a bunch of plates that I bought when I was just accumulating plates at a ridiculous rate, just because they were so cheap at the time. Like 30 pence per kilogram was average what I was paying, so I just kept buying, man. All these little denominations I'm finding particularly useful at the moment because I am doing the Bulgarian squat program completely unmodified. This is my progress. As you can see, there's a little skull and crossbones there because it's going horribly. It's going terribly. Don't do it. More on that later. We've got a PR board up here for people who train here and want to track their PRs here. I guess this is the way around you're most used to seeing. We've got a whiteboard for writing up today's workout, or in this case, tracking my Bulgarian squat program, which is going horrendously. But there was a fireplace here, took that out because it was a pain in the ass, replaced it with this tiny little shelf, and now we have all this space. Put up this pegboard, it's from IKEA, it was very cheap, I want to say like 12 quid. There is another one going here when it is back in stock. We've got head harness for neck training. This is an adapter for attaching things to an Olympic bar for when you're using it in the Landmine. This is obviously, a close grip handle. This is a tricep rope. This is a close grip pull down. Going on that side will be, whatever other little things that we pick up along the way. This here is the PR bell. You only get to ring it when you PR. And this here is a selection of adjustable but now fixed forever dumbbells. 7, 9, 12, 15, and then there's a pair of 20s down on the floor. This dumbbell rack, you may notice, is incredibly well built out of some fence posts and some old pallets. This is angled so you can grab things on and off pretty swiftly. I like it. It's a much better use of this space than we had before. Stereos down there. Probably gonna put another row underneath on one of these sides just because those 20s being over there gets on my nerves, and I've actually got plenty of empty dumbbells to make heavier. So why not? Over here is a barbell rack that I made forever ago, and all I've done is paint it black. It is a bit of sleeper with some 1-inch holes drilled into it, stuck to a piece of plywood so it's less likely to fall over. And then this is another bit of sleeper with an hole to fit the trap bar in. So yeah, we got a trap bar, we got a straight bar, which is rackable. So it's the same dimensions as an Olympic barbell, except, you know, it's 1 inch and it doesn't spin, which hasn't bothered me so far. You know, I've always been kind of like, get the cheapest thing that does the job well. And the difference between this, which was the best 1-inch bar I could find, and at the time it was like 45 quid or something, versus a very poor Olympic barbell, like, made sense to go with this. Now I am more interested in actual Olympic lifting, which, you know, requires some spin and some bouncy boy plates. So they are coming. Easy curl bar, I've actually got 2 of these. The other one's in that storage over there. A tricep bar. Most of this stuff is not stuff that I went out and deliberately spent money on. It's just, there was a deal on, you know, it came with some plates and I wanted the plates. So I'll have it. And because I've got it, it's out. This is my trusty assault bike. It's the Tuntori F715i, I think. Yeah, it is. Got a whole video on this because it is awesome, and if you see one on Facebook Marketplace, get it. They are incredibly well built from a time before the assault bike really existed, but it's just as good as you can get with any amount of money today, except you'll probably pick one up for 50 quid. The downside being that it is computer beige, but I've had rowers in here, I've had bikes in here, I've had treadmills in here. This is the only piece of cardio equipment that I had ever picked up and used consistently. You can cycle without using your arms. You can get your whole body involved by using your arms, and you can go steady for 20-25 minutes and, you know, that's your session. Or you can smash it to batter sprint on it and it will kill you. It will legit try and kill you. It will take your soul, and I like that. It's flexible in a way that a treadmill I don't think is. I never feel like I can run full tilt boogie on a treadmill without it trying to kill me. And by that I mean falling off and then sandpapering my whole face off. So this is actually it for equipment that's in here. The biggest upgrade I think I made during the refurbishment process was actually the flooring. I previously had some EVA foam mats that I had from when I was training jiu-jitsu a lot. They didn't take up the whole floor. To cover the rest of the floor, they're about 25 quid a mat now, which is ridiculous. So it would have cost me 100 odd quid to finish the rest of the floor. Or these mats I found for £6 a square meter. They'd come off a building site, somebody had used them to protect their drive while they're getting some work done, and they were selling them for £6 a meter. So obviously I bought them. I bought them all, I pressure washed them, I dried them, and now they're in here and they're great. I don't recommend those EVA foam mats. They are too soft. They give way too much. If you are squatting a serious weight, they will compress and they just don't feel good. They don't feel stable enough. Also, I just wanted to offer the tiles that are under here a bit more protection. So these are 20mm tire rubber, whatever they're called, I don't know, mats. You may remember that on this wall there was just a duvet with a flag hung up in front of it. I did that when I started filming a lot of videos in here because these walls are all just plain walls. There's not anything soft in here, so it's very reverby. I hung a duvet on the wall because it was mid-lockdown, it was impossible to get anything. I just acquired a duvet that had like some coffee stains that looked pretty dodgy. And I stuck it on the wall and it helped a lot. Now, you know, I wanted to look a bit fancier. So I bought an enormous flag had our logo printed on it. I built this frame out of, you know, like stud timber. And the duvet is now in there, and there's a gap behind the duvet. So basically, some of it is going to be reflected off the front. Some of it's going to penetrate the next layer and bounce back. Some of it's going to make it all the way to the wall and then bounce back out of that. So you're getting sort of twice as much reduction in reverberation. That's this. This is great, pretty happy with that. I think it looks neat, way better than a piss-stained duvet. Painted all the floorboards and doors black, painted all the walls this nice pearl grey. The radiator I always thought looked really terrible and I hated it, so I thought I'd cover it up with a radiator cover. Bought one of those, it also looked terrible and just took up too much space. I sold that and I painted it black, and I don't know why I didn't just paint it black to begin with, because it looks a million times better. Like, rooms have radiators, deal with it. This doesn't bother me in the slightest, so that's good. This blackout blind helps control the light from outside. I don't know if you remember, but this wall, there was a big hole in it. You could see through to the brickwork. There had been a leak on the outside of this wall. The wall got damp, plaster blew out. Spoke to the landlords, well, tried to speak to the landlords, couldn't get hold of them. I thought, well, it's already ruined, they're already gonna have to replace it, so I might as well put this up here. This is for practicing handstands, and this is just to cover up the fact that it was shitty. I'm pretty happy. In fact, I'm very happy. You can hear that when I'm speaking here, it's quite reverby still. So there are a couple of things that are gonna happen in phase 2 of this do-up. One is replace all of the 1-inch weights with Olympic weights. Dumbbells will probably stay because they're fixed dumbbells. I mean, they'll change eventually, but it's not in the short-term plan. Short-term plan, more lighting up here. I'll just show you what's going on right now. So when I'm filming in here, I have to be moving around those two sources of light to whatever direction that I'm shooting in. And that's a pain in the butt. So the plan is to put some more lights on the ceiling, which I'll show you. I guess I'll cut to that right now because I'm an expert at this sort of thing. And then fill in the gaps in between those lights with acoustic foam. But also, these are cushions from a sofa bed, and I have them kicking around so that if I'm shooting in a direction, I can put them on the other side and the room sounds less reverby. So hopefully doing something about the ceiling will help. What else? Yes, a deadlift platform / Olympic weightlifting platform. Probably won't be able to be full size because it's quite small in here. So it'll probably be this 8 foot by 2 foot. Again, just a bit more protection for the floor. Also, when I move these lights, there's a huge possibility of me smashing them into my freshly painted stuff, and it really gets on my nerves. Just trying to streamline the process, take as much resistance out of the process as possible so that I can focus all my effort on making better videos for you. Well, that's pretty much everything that's going on in here. At some point, I'll take you around the lockup, I'll take you around the garden, I'll show you all the gear that I have for personal training. If you have enjoyed this video, do drop it a like. If you've got any ideas on how I can better use this space or stuff that you think I desperately need, leave it down in the comments. I want to talk to you about it because the people in my life are sick of hearing what I'm going to do in the gym. So let's converse. Whatever else you do, have a great day, get them gains, be well.